Off you go, Ro.
All right.
Sorry, Willow.
Yeah, lovely.
Sorry,
well, sorry we were so
Walk of
late.
shame on.
We had technical issues. I don't know whose fault it was. But welcome back, everyone, to another lockdown live stream. I'm Charlie. This is Yanina, Alinka, Polly, Romany, David. Where's Baboonia the dog?
Oh, he's
sulking.
He doesn't like technical difficulties.
Baboonia the dog is sulking
He
because
can't stand the lack of professionalism.
tempers flared around the dongle.
Oi.
So normally we start off with asking what everyone has been up to this week, but I've kind of been watching 10-minute long cartoons.
And by 10-minute long cartoons, he means Adventure
Time. And I think, you know, the idea that you have to be doing something and that even people are capable of doing something in this unnatural scenario is sometimes too much to hope for. And I mean, great if people are using this time to write their novels, but also if you're just staring at the wall or whatever, then that's a normal response as well. But I thought we could talk about what we would be doing if we weren't under lockdown. Romany, what would you be doing if we weren't under lockdown right now?
I'd have my first A-level in a few days.
Yeah.
I think 18th of May was going to be my first A-level.
Yeah,
So,
you feel like you've dodged a
probably
bullet?
having a breakdown over that.
you'd be having a breakdown.
She wouldn't be dodging a bullet. She would be. She's not going to get a chance to flower.
Yeah. Yanina, what would you be up to if we weren't being locked down right now?
It's
I'll
leaving.
probably be on a job,
On job.
yeah. Working.
And for those watching who don't know, what would that job be?
Set design. I mean, it could be
Well, let's look at.
Oh, yeah,
do this.
This is a clue.
flower arrangements, still lives. Who knows? Every project is different.
Yeah, Alinka had just started to get had just started getting into going to playgroups. I suppose she'd be doing that.
Yes. She
you?
must be. She must feel she's the only baby in the world.
Yeah.
She never sees another baby.
Yeah, she hears them sometimes and perks up her head like a meerkat.
Yeah.
What would you be doing?
I would be. Well, actually, I thank God for the internet, because I would normally be at literary festivals. I think Hay is coming up, and I keep looking in the diary. There are all these things I would be doing because the book had just been published, and I'd be meeting readers at these things, and it's just so strange not meeting readers. So all week I've been not meeting readers.
But you haven't.
But I have, because actually online people get in touch, and it's really nice. It's
Yeah.
like it's you know, in the normal run of things, meeting actual people would be the thing, but in this period it's just lovely when you just have a conversation with someone who like the book.
And you've forged different sorts of relationships. Oh, Linka.
Oh, Lincoln, what
I
happened?
think she wasn't allowed a box of matches, perhaps.
Oh,
Yes.
Lincoln, soon you can have matches.
Soon you can have matches, baby matches. You forged different sorts of relationships, like
Yeah.
with independent bookshops.
Yeah,
and
no,
things
it's
like
great.
that.
You do. I mean, it actually, I was thinking today, it would be so weird if this had happened before the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we're all having that thought. And actually, yeah, so for me, it's talking to readers and also just things like, you know, talking to independent bookshops, and particularly it's been just so great having Newham Books who just do kind of get in touch with me and ask for signed book plates,
Yeah.
and they're going all over the world. And the other thing about Newham Books is they do an incredibly good job in their community, which
Yeah.
is, I mean, they really do support a lot of charities in an amazing way.
Papa, you're someone who you have actually been being quite productive in working on some
Hundreds of
lyrics
things,
and
keeping
that-
myself busy by obsessing on all sorts of
Yeah.
things.
One of the things and that we're going to talk about today is going through the lyrics of your old friend and bandmate Syd Barrett and trying to get some sort of definitive version of those lyrics.
Well, the lyrics have never actually been printed properly. Syd never wrote them down. They were never properly transcribed. There's all sorts of different versions
if I
of
might
all of them.
interject, last week we had someone writing in who was a viewer who was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And presumably we have some other people watching who
Yeah.
are, you know, who don't actually
I was
know
getting there.
who Syd Barrett is.
Syd Barrett.
So for a 10-year-old, could you please explain who he
For
was?
the Bryn.
And it was called Bryn. Was it Bryn who wrote
It
in
was
last week?
Bryn, yeah.
Hello
So
Bryn, if
tell
you're watching
Bryn.
Hello,
this
Bryn.
week.
I bet Bryn probably
So Bryn-
knows because
Yeah.
he's a bright 10-year-old.
Who was Syd Barrett and what was your relationship to him?
Syd Barrett started Pink Floyd. He was its original leader.
What was Pink Floyd?
Pink Floyd is a pop group.
Yeah.
I think most people actually do know that,
Yeah.
Charlie, believe
Yeah,
it or
of
not.
My mum didn't when I met you.
Yes, she did.
She didn't.
She called it Lily the Pink.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, we could just sing Lily the Pink one.
Oh,
week.
anyway,
that's
Syd Barrett was
There's a song.
a friend of mine from when we were both about 14. We went on holidays together, hitchhiking around Europe. He founded Pink Floyd with Roger, Rick, Nick, Bob Close, other people in the very early stages. But he was its maverick writer and leader. He was a couple of years younger than all the other guys, but he was very, very bright. And somehow, very, very sadly, he lost his mind. There are all sorts of theories as to why he lost his mind, and certainly I suspect it was exacerbated by his drug use. But he was an enormous amount of fun and a brilliant poet, writer, I suppose you'd say. I think his writing is poetry. Others may disagree.
How did you first meet him? I mean, I
I
genuinely don't know the
I
answer to
generally
this.
don't. I think with some other people on a recreation ground in Cambridge, I would imagine. I think so.
Didn't you do art classes with him?
I did art class with Roger and Syd when I was under 11
wow.
at Homerton College, which was a teachers' training college in Cambridge. And but I didn't know them then, either of them, at that point. But there is evidence that we were in the same class in a room, you know, about this size, on the same Saturday mornings. I stopped because after 11 plus, I went to school, which had school on Saturday mornings, so I couldn't go anymore.
What's your earliest memory then? If you can't remember when you first met, what's your earliest memory of meeting this person, Syd?
We just spent quite a lot of time together. I can't remember a first meeting at the Sheep's Green swimming place in Cambridge. We used to meet, and there are other places that
When you were
people-
how old?
16,
When you were
something
16.
like that. And then when I was 16, I went to the Cambridgeshire College of Arts and Technology, and Syd had gone there a term earlier than me. I went after one term of sixth form in my other school before I realised it wasn't my thing anymore. Syd went to the arts department and studied art for his A-levels at the Cambridge College of Arts and Technology, and I went there to do modern languages, and we spent our lunch times
How did
sitting
you
around.
first meet there?
Oh, I already knew him, and when we got there, we said hi, and I used to go over to the art school where there were these great big empty rooms where Syd and I and one or two other people would meet and play guitars and learn songs.
So was it a guitar thing?
That was, yeah. I mean, there may have been other rooms where other people met to do all sorts
So
of
did you
things.
used to take your guitar to college?
Yeah.
And Sid took his guitar to college?
Yeah.
God, that's so interesting. I bet people don't do that now.
Why? Of course they do.
Because they
Music
just...
college.
Do you think
Yes,
they
they
do?
do.
What, just at a normal sixth form centre?
Yes.
So at sixth form, you boys and girls... How many boys, how many girls?
There were 3,000 people in the 2 years. I don't.
So fascinating.
Why didn't you make a survey of them?
So anyway,
So then you ended up being in a band together.
we were very briefly, for 5 gigs only, in January 1968, maybe into February, in the band together. We played about 5 university dates all over England. It was pretty strange. And then the band decided that Syd was more of a liability than he was worth. And
What do you mean by the band?
I mean someone
Who?
said,
Who?
as we were driving around West London picking people up, about to head off to somewhere like Southampton for a gig, someone said, shall we pick Syd up? And someone else said, nah, let's
Come
not
on, you
bother.
know who said it.
It was maybe a democratic
this.
decision.
Moving
Stop
on.
fishing. I actually don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
And so then Syd was not in the band, but these lyrics that you've been going over stem from a period after that. Can you tell us about that, please?
The lyrics that I'm doing are the entire
Oh,
career.
the entire career.
Yes,
okay.
so they include the first Pink Floyd album and a bit. Then there are 2 solo albums which I produced, the first one along with Roger, the second one with some help from Rick. And we went through all these lyrics. Syd sang them, but you know, he only sang them. He had maybe some notes scribbled on pieces of paper. Some of them, quite often, it felt like he was making them up as he went along. And it was very similar to the way that he talked. The lyrics are, you're struggling to get to grips with what he's meaning. It's not gobbledygook, any of them. They all definitely mean something to him, but there's a sort of a barrier between him and me and anyone else that prevents us from being able to hear. It's like there's a glass wall between us and you can't quite make out what he's saying or meaning. That's what it was like to talk to him in that period of time in 1969, 68, 69, 70, when we made these albums.
Yeah.
Anyway, the first album, there was a song called Octopus. I think I played drums on it and other things. God knows. Anyway, the drums are bad
What
enough
year
to
are
be
we in?
me. We are in probably 69, maybe 68. I'm not 100% certain. Other people would know, but I can't quite tell. Anyway, there's a song called Octopus, and it has the line in it, the madcap laughed at the man on the border. And when I was being asked about what they should call the album, and I asked Syd, and he said, you do something. And I said, let's call it The Madcap Laughs, because Syd was a bit bonkers, but I think the word madcap doesn't mean mad. It means zany, if you like. And anyway, it sort of described the lovelier part of Syd. And so that's what it became called. I asked Syd if he was happy with that. He said, absolutely fine. So we called it that. And I've sort of recently read somewhere and checked on the tape, because I have some of the multi-track session tapes, and I can solo these songs out, the lyrics out, and listen to them. And I have been told that he says the mad cat laughs. And so I named it wrongly in 1969 as the mad cat laughs.
Yeah.
Anyway, I prefer the mad cat laughs, and I shall sing it tonight.
And so
I will still call it the mad cat.
And so you went back to those tapes that you have, and you made all the other instruments go away, and it was just Syd's
his voice,
and he
singing
says the
onto-
mad cat laughs.
You know, there on the track, there are three things of him singing it, and they're all up in the mix.
Yeah.
One of them sounds definitely like Mad Cat. Two of them sound more like Mad Cat, but it's you can't be 100% certain.
So
Even there, but I will get to more of these things, and before this.
So what are they for? They're there for a book?
They're for a book of Syd Barrett's notes. And it would be nice if they were correct, but it's extremely hard to get them correct. And there are hundreds of versions of these things up online of people who have sat and listened. But they don't have the advantage that I have, is one, that I knew him and I knew how he talked. And the other, even bigger one, is that I've got the multi-track tapes and I can listen to his voice soloed. So we will have something that I think will be pretty definitive.
Yeah. There was another one that you said about sort of people, an editorial decision that you had made about a tune they play called In Us Confide. What was that? What song's that from?
That is this same song. There's another line in it, which is the old original favourite grand, Grasshoppers Green, Herbarian Band, and the tune they play is In Us Confide.
Yeah.
In the versions of the lyric online, it has In Us Confide as capital letters with quotation marks, as if it's a song that the band are playing that is called In Us Confide. I think that is reading something that Syd did not necessarily say.
Yeah.
And I think that would be the wrong decision to make doing that. I can just as easily see that it says that the tune they played was confided in us.
Yeah. Which is
So,
a nicer reading of it.
I think it's a nice reading, and you can't make assumptions about what someone else means.
Yeah.
So you have to do it the correct way, and that's the way it'll be.
And he never wrote it down so you couldn't see if they were capital letters.
No. I've just spoken today, actually, to Peter Barnes, who is
A music publisher.
is our publisher, and he was our publisher from 1968 onwards, and his wife Cora was too, and they knew Syd very, very well. He was always popping into their office asking for another advance and things like that. And he knows all this stuff intimately as well, and he's going through it. He's going to give me a hand and do some more checking up.
So we're going to have some questions later. If you've got questions, please get them in, and we'll try and respond to as many of them as we can later. We're going to have some music. We're going to have Romany's going to do a poem. Maybe now we could have that Syd Barrett song you were just talking about.
Okay, we'll give it a go.
And I've actually got a copy of the album here, the Mad Cat Laugh, or as it now must be known as Mad Cat.
Maybe we should have a competition to win that album.
I don't know what the competition.
I don't know, David could set a competition. And you could draw a cat on it.
No, for me it is going to remain the Mad Cat
Okay.
Laughs, as is the lyric in the song.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Are you not going to sing Mad Cat now?
No,
Ever.
Syd's not going to argue. No,
Well,
I'm not. I don't like it as much.
I don't like it as much either.
Trip to heave and ho, up, down, to and fro. You have no word. Trip, trip to dream dragon, hide your wings in a ghost tower. Sails cackling at every plank we break. Was cracked by scattered needles. Little minute gone coughs and clears his throat. Madam, you see before you stand. Hey ho, never be still. The old original favourite grand. Grasshoppers Green, Herbarian Band, and the tune they play is In Us Confide. So trip to heave and ho, up, down, to and fro. You have no word. Please leave us here. Close our eyes to the octopus run. Isn't it good to be lost in the wood? Isn't it bad so quiet there in the wood? Meant even less to me than I thought. Darling cloud young. Feet. Well, the madcap laughed at the man on the border. Hey ho, huff the Talbot. The weasel took a kangaroo. So true in their tree they cried. Please leave us here. Close our eyes to the octopus ride. Please leave us here. Close our eyes to the octopus ride. Well, the madcap laughed at the man on the border. Hey ho, a bag. The seas will reach and always seep. So high you go, so low you creep. The wind it blows in tropical heat. The drones they throng on mossy seats. The squeaking door will always squeak. Two up, two down, we'll never meet. So merrily trip and go my side. Please leave us here. Please, as the octopus ride. It never pays to rehearse too much.
And also,
What? Well, a little ripple, a few little cock-ups in there, so I thought
Lovely.
maybe I should have run it through the
Did
form.
you sing Mad Cats the first time?
That's one of those arguments you'll always have.
Thank you for that. So we're going to have some
It's a
questions
bit high
now.
for me, actually. But I did tune the guitar down a bit.
Listening to that, I mean, it's a lovely song and childlike, but also when you listen to the lyrics in the context of profound mental illness, it's an extremely sad song.
Yeah.
Sorry to put down on things, but
You can sing it slowly and
Yeah.
to give it a different feeling, and it
Yeah.
has a very different sort of meaning to it.
yeah, it can. Yeah.
Trip, trip to a dream dragon.
So we've got some
Anyway,
some
yeah.
questions that have come in before, and some
Belinka.
I think
Did
some
Belinka like it?
coming in.
I don't know if Belinka likes
She
it.
seems to have livened her up quite a bit. Actually, my sister China and cousin Freya, if you're watching, Alinka is wearing the lovely outfit you sent, so thank you for that very much. It's
Look at that tongue. It's nearly as good as mine.
A question from Larry Kerrigan on Twitter. Will we be seeing a film adaptation of your book, Mama?
Yes, definitely.
Right.
I feel confident.
Well, that's a bit awkward of it.
That answers that. Great. We've got some questions that have come in live as well. Cameron Eroch. David, what was the first ever song you learned to play on the guitar?
Gosh. I can't.
Oh, come on.
Hang on.
Just make one up.
Make one up. I remember going to a scout
Not good
club
advice.
thing where I went and took my guitar before I knew how to play it at all, the one I borrowed off my neighbour, and I just strummed the open strings all the way through something. That was my very first
Did you
performance.
sing?
Uh-huh.
But it was I was just strumming the guitar, but it was literally just I didn't know how to play it.
King Ganguli.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Anyway, that was pretty rubbish. Anyway, gosh, I can't remember.
Come on,
really
come on,
can't
Carol, speak memory.
There were things from the Pete Seeger guitar tutor book which I learnt from.
When was the first time you
let's-
played in front of other people and sang at the same time?
Well, that would have been in the first band that I ever joined, which was called the Newcomers, and it was led by a drummer. Anyway, I was did do some singing in that band. I wasn't another singer.
How old were you?
Oh my God,
17?
Mother! What is wrong with you?
Let's just have a
I
moment.
don't know these things.
She's my wife, and she for 25 years, and she
And
doesn't
how
know
did that
these
make you
things.
feel?
Let's just have a
You're
moment
my
of
shrink.
silence.
He's never asked me anything about...
I have.
Now's not the
We
time.
won't go there right now.
Let's have a moment of silence and allow the memories to bubble up. Everyone be quiet. Just let the memories bubble up. Bubble, bubble, bubble.
There were so many songs that I learned at
Could I
that
please
time.
have some more wine, do you think?
It's
Well,
down
then-
here beside you, darling. Here.
Oh, can I have some more wine?
Yeah, I think...
So the people are asking about the chicken.
Pass me.
We did a video to tell
think-
people about this live stream, and they're asking about the chicken that
Chicken?
was on your head.
Are they sure?
Um,
They must be mad. They're hallucinating.
I don't know. Maybe I imagined. What does she do?
Something. Can you
A linker.
Tell
It's all right. It's fine. It's fine. It's just the headphone volume. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so you had a little chicken called Egg Puppy on your head, if you recall.
Yeah.
Jared Barnhard, that's a great name, Barnhard. Why is there a bird inside your house? Who cleans the poop?
Well, the bird was born. It was a chicken. Then we have an incubator, and it was born on Romany's birthday.
18th birthday.
On Romany's 18th birthday, a little while ago, and it has been being reared by us, as it has to be, unless you have the mother hen, but
We don't know who the mother is, do
not
we?
quite sure what it is.
We
Anyway,
know who the
it's
father is.
sitting there, and it's got a lamp over it most of the time, keeping it warm, and it's now however many days it's old, a couple of weeks old it is. And in fact, strangely enough, another one hatched out this very morning. So
Egg Puppy has a sibling.
Why Snappy Snaps 1 says, why is she a grey chick, not yellow?
Her sibling is
not
yellow.
all chicks are grey, are yellow.
Yellow,
This one just
yeah.
happens to be a rather lovely colour of greys and blacks. Beautiful. Hope she keeps those colours.
She's an extremely clever
It's
and,
very
and charming chicken,
Very
actually.
talented
Yeah,
as
very
Very
talented.
talented, and we spend a lot of time talking
She's
to
a
her.
few weeks old, and I just say, "Egg puppy, jump," and she just flies to my hand. It's incredible.
Charlie has trained her.
Yeah. So
Anyway, there we are. And the poop, the poop is mostly
Stays
in the
inside
cage,
its
but there was a
thing,
little
yeah.
bit on the kitchen table yesterday. I think Charlie
I
cleaned
cleaned
it up.
it up. Yeah.
It's a very clean.
Charlie's good
it's a
at
very
cleaning
clean
up bird
chicken.
poop.
Yeah.
It's a very clean chicken because Yanina noticed the other day that in its cage,
Enclosure. It
that
just goes
that-
to one spot.
yeah,
What in Raphael Chiola? What is the name of that clever little bird? Her name is Egg Puppy, and the one we believe its mother is Egg Dog. So that
Believe it
answers
or
that
not.
question. No further questions on that matter. So that does bring us on to another thing to do with birds, and I've been getting a few questions. Some viewers might know that I had, or we had actually,
yeah. No, a member
she
of
was
our
a sort of
family.
member of our family, a feathered member of our family, a magpie called Benzine, who 4 years ago yesterday, Yanina brought home. She'd found it, her sister had found it lying in the gutter, and we brought it home and nurtured it back to health, and then let it go, and it flew away and then came back, and
More than once.
many times we kept trying to let her go. She kept
Oh.
coming back.
Just the anxiety was horrible.
And no, she I mean, this time last year, she left home for about a month and then turned up at the pub and scared the shit out of everyone working in the pub. But earlier this spring, she sadly died. Very suddenly, it was a sort of sneeze one day and then off
Poor
her perch the next, which does happen with birds. That's why
She
canaries
had a little cough for a little while.
canaries
and then she
get
got
sent down coal mines.
antibiotics.
Yeah. But she was lovely. I mean, she was.
Yeah, no, I feel really
you
sad.
opened your eyes to how
Well, I didn't want to
characterful.
open them
You
too
didn't
wide
want
if
to-
they
no.
were blue and
Yeah.
like sapphires,
Yeah.
because then she wanted to
Yeah,
own
but
them.
how characterful birds could be. I mean,
Yeah.
no bird will ever be just a bird again after having
No,
known Benzine.
it's true. I madly talk to all other magpies.
Yeah.
But really, I'm really quite surprised that they don't come and
No,
land,
it is
and
strange.
it is
I mean,
really
I'd still
weird.
try and get them to do that
Yeah.
and offer them things that
I
Benzine used to like.
I take
Yeah.
a lighter thinking that they're going to come if I flick the lighter. And
Yeah.
They don't.
Anyway, so that's some sad news that we've had, and we're going to think of a way to try to memorialise Benzine in a way that would be
Yeah.
befitting of her. I've just finished writing a book that's partly based on our time together and a few other things, which I didn't sort of plan for it to be a memorial to her, but now it seems quite fitting.
So today would have been her fourth.
Her 4th birthday.
And
yeah.
normally, so yeah, you were saying what would you normally be doing? So normally she'd be having a party,
Yeah,
and all her friends,
all her friends would be coming.
yeah,
She'd be opening a little box
Human
containing
friends.
live worms.
and little jellies with bugs inside
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And on her second birthday, I read a poem wearing goggles because she was trying to eat my eyeballs.
Romany, she was trying to eat Romany's eyes. Actually, maybe would you read? We're going to have one of Benzine's, the Magpie's, favourite poems now. Romany, would you
Yes.
read it?
This is Two Legends from Crow, and it is by Ted Hughes.
Ah,
Oh.
Linka's favourite.
Mm. Ah. Black was the without eye, black the within tongue. Black was the heart, black the liver, black the lungs, unable to suck in light. Black the blood in its loud tunnel, black the bowels packed in furnace, black too the muscles, striving to pull out into the light. Black the nerves, black the brain, with its tombed visions. Black also the soul, the huge stammer of the cry that welling could not pronounce its son. Black is the wet otter's head, lifted. Black is the rock plunging in foam. Black is the ghoul lying on the bed of the blood. Black is the earth globe, 1 inch under, an egg of blackness, where sun and moon alternate their weathers, to hatch a crow, a black rainbow, bent in emptiness, over emptiness, but flying.
Thank you, Roni. That was very beautiful. That was from Ted Hughes' collection of crow poetry that Benzine always loved. I've got a question from Louise Allen Jones, who's asked this actually many times over previous episodes. Charlie, what is your book called, etc.? The book that I've written about me and Benzine and various other things, it's about fatherhood and birds, and it's called Featherhood. Which started off as a joke, but then a joke that got taken seriously.
I keep being told by people that it's a really great title.
Yeah, well.
Good. Well, then it is, and it shall be.
I think it is now.
The voice of the people is the voice of God.
Absolutely.
So should we have...
And feather is a really good word.
Feather is a lovely word.
Yeah.
Should we have another song in a bit? Let's see if there's anything else that's come in. Blah, 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 blah.
No one said blah, 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 blah.
Okay, well, if any more questions come in, we'll come back to them. But Papa, perhaps another
One more
song. Will you tell us a bit about this song before you...
Well, this is a song called Dominos, and I guess it's about people sitting around.
But you recorded this song.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. I did play the drums on this one, definitely.
So this is Syd in a studio out of his brains.
This is Syd in Abbey Road number 2 studio recording some of the unusual moments we kept on that first album.
Did he come on his own to
we
the
need
studio?
to speed things up because we have to
There's
we have to clap
before
the
8, yeah.
NHS
Well, we've
at
got
8.
12 minutes.
So, yeah.
Okay. I often took him to the studio and brought him back because we lived next door in Earl's Court. Anyway. But it's a song, it sounds like a lockdown song. People sitting around, trapped with nothing much to do except play dominoes. It's an idea someday. In my tears, my dreams. Don't you want to see her prove life that comes of no harm? You and I and dominoes. The day goes by. You and I in place, wasting time on dominoes. A day so dark, so warm, life that comes of no harm. You and I and dominoes, time goes by. Fireworks and heat someday. Hold a shell, a stick of play. Overheard a lark today, bluesing when my mind's astray. Don't you want with your pretty hair. Stretch out your hand, glad feels in an echo for your way. It's an idea someday, in my tears, my dreams. Don't you want to see her prove life becomes of no harm? You and I and Dominos, the day goes by. Got to get out of here.
How does
And
it?
this is why we love you so.
How does it do it in the actual track? Does it just fade out?
I think it fades out.
Fades
yeah.
out. What's your favourite? I love that song. What is your favourite Syd song? You, Mama, first.
Oh God, you can't spring that on me. Terrapin. I love Terrapin.
Popsicle?
I think Domino's is one of those.
Domino's.
Yeah,
It's
no, and
lovely.
that. Yeah.
So,
There's
that,
something very still about it. I love it.
that about wraps it up for this week. Next week, we're going to apparently be on actual television on a show called Front Row Late with Mary Beard, and that show will be being broadcast at 7 p.m. British time on BBC Two
Next Thursday night.
next Thursday night, 7 p.m. And if you can't get BBC where you are in the world, I imagine we'll be able to post a video or something. I don't actually know the technical details, but try to tune into BBC Two if you so desire. And see you there and then. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. And sorry again about the late arrival. It's the
We
dongle's
will
fault.
sort out our dog.
We're going to have a word with the dongle.
And we're... Oh, not ended. Yes, we're ended.
Well done, everyone. That was great. That was lovely.
I think that was really nice. Well done, you. Well done, everyone. I think it was really lovely. And well done, everyone.
It is sad. When you listen to the lyrics of Octopus, it is sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, all his songs are so
Yeah.
sad.